Good morning, students. Let's start our lesson. Yesterday we are started the lesson, the revelation of medieval India, and yesterday we had learned about medieval period. Yes or no? Medieval period is coming in the between the ancient and the modern. Yes, yesterday I had given. I hope all the students have written that the information on their notebooks. So today we have to start the sources of history. So sources of history are divided into two periods. Which one? One is the archaeological sources and second one is the literary sources. I have not written there because before I have to explain this all are archaeological sources. So then I will write this one. What you have to do? You have to write the diagrams. You have to make the diagrams and write all the points in the notebooks and leave this much space. There are also 4 or 5 points, so leave that much place. Okay. So now let's start. The sources of history is divided into two parts: archaeological sources and the literary sources. So first point is the epigraphic materials. So what is the epigraphic materials? So it has written on that the engraved on stones, metals and temple walls. Yes or no? Engraved on stones means those who are the kings, they want to give the message to the peoples. So it is very easy. It is very easy to write on the stone because that time there were no pen, no pencil, no eraser. Yes or no? Because that much India was not developed that time. So they were writing on all the things on the stones. So the peoples could read whatever it has written on the stones. They were written into metals also, into metals. So what are the metals? What they want to give the message? Even they were writings, even temple walls. Yes, or epigraphic materials. So you can see. Now, from that, what we can understand? We can understand the social condition, economic conditions, cultures conditions. Yes or no? Their name of the ruler and their royal proclamations. Kings, how the kings were there, what they want to give the message to the peoples. So all the things we can understand from the epigraphic materials. So these sculptures has spread, these scripts has spread into all over the India. Wherever you will go to in India, wherever you will see on the temples, you will get some of the epigraphic materials, or it has graved on the some of the stones or on the temples, because these kings want to give the message. From there also we can understand. So some of the two kings were there, King Devaraya, which one? Krishna Devaraya and Achyutraya. So these are the kings. From they are given the message into the metals, copper plates. So from there we can get some of the very good information about the Vijayanagar Empire. Now, epigraphic materials. So let's start. This is the passage. Then we will go to the numismatic material. So first we have to complete this one. Okay. Now see. I am going to read. So open your page number 3 and see that page paragraph number 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 number paragraph. Okay. Epigraphy is the study and interruptions of ancient inscriptions. Inscriptions are writing engraved into stone, into metals or other durable materials. These are innumerable inscriptions found on the temple's wall. The inscriptions are treasure houses of historical data. So these are called historical data. Which one? Treasure. Understand? Treasure means khajina. They are found in various language and scripts scattered all over India. So you can find this in various languages, because before that we know that India is speaking the various types of the language. We are speaking the Marathi, Pali, Gujarati, Kannada, Assami, Malayali, Kannada. Yes or no? So these all scripts you will find everywhere in the different types of the language. They provide valuable information such as, see now which information they are providing to us, of the ruling kings' years in which the inscriptions were written. So who are the ruling kings and these scripts in which year it has engraved, means it has written. royal proclamations, religious instructions. So what are the religious instructions were there? What were their religions were there? How they were following their cultures or their they were saying their casteisms, or how they were doing the behave to each others. So all the things we can understand from that. And the details of grants given, and also some details of the grants given. Some of the kings were giving the grants to the peoples, so that also we can understand from that. This inscription speaks about this inscription are speaking which one? Engraved on stones, into metals and temples also. So this from that it could be speak. What it could be speak? See, the political, social, culture and economic conditions of the period, and also about genealogies. Inscriptions of early medieval period shed light on administrative and revenue system. So from this also we can understand about the kings or ruling kings were there. So what systems, revenue systems were there, or how it was their administration. Do you know administration? Those people are coming together and they are starting some of the things. Yes or no? And they are whatever they want to take the decision, they are coming together, they are consulting, and then they are taking the decisions. So how it was the administration, revenue systems. Revenue means how they were taking the tax from the others. That is called the revenue systems. Yes or no? Still now we are giving the revenue to the government. Yes, everyone's are giving. Even myself also we are giving. Everyone's are giving the revenue systems. Now, so from that all the things we can understand. Then, beside the stone inscriptions, there are copper plate grants. See, beside these inscriptions, stone inscription, there are the copper metal plates. Grants issued by the kings such as Krishnadev Raya and Achut Raya, which are extremely useful in the history of the Vijayanagar Empire. So these are the two kings, Krishnadev Raya and Achut Raya. They are giving the copper plate. Several copper plates grant. Means they were written on the copper plates what they want to give the message to the peoples, or what they want to take the decisions, or what they want to give the message to the peoples or to the others. So they were all writing on the metals, okay, copper plate metals. So it was, because if you are written the copper plate, it will not go easily. Yes or no? It will be live several years. Yes. So these are called the useful sources, useful for the history, because from there we can understand how it was the Vijayanagar Empire. Okay. So rapid round. There are the two questions downside. See, history is the study of the, answer is very clear, past. Name the two types of sources. I have written archaeological sources and the literary sources. Yes, finish. Answer is finished. Now let's go to the second point, numismatic materials. So from there what we can understand? We can understand coins, medals, paper money. So from the, what is mean coins, medals and paper money. So let's start to that passage. Numismatic is the study of collection of coins, medals, paper money, etc. Coins are of a great help to study history, because from the coins we can understand in which year it has invested or it can develop coins, or which king has given that the coin, because people are writing there the year, yes or no. Nowadays also we have the coins. On the coins we can get that the year 1986, 1982, 1945. Like this is the coins we have still now. Yes or no? So from that coins we can understand that coin in which year it has developed. Yes. So same thing is there. They carry historical information which provides clue to understand several important historical events. They are also vital sources of political history. Production and circulation of coins often help to determine the extent and the frontiers of an empire. So when from that coins we can understand their productions and their circulation of coins, when they had produced and how it has circulated in the among the peoples. That also we can understand. Conflicting dates about succession can be stored out with the help of coins. So from that coins also we can understand in which year they have done the conflict, and also what succession. Succession is which kings when it has kings. Now suppose that myself, I am the king, okay, in this year. Now after myself somebody will come there. So he will make his the coins and he will paste his the pictures. Yes or no? Some coins on there, some pictures were there, king's pictures were there. So they can issue their own coins. So from their coins, so we can understand. 1982 king, suppose something is okay. Our Shivaji Maharaj was there in the centuries. Yes or no? So he has also developed some of the coins. After that, some kings came, so they have also developed their coins. Then British came. British also developed their own coins and they have written their dates. The legends or writings on the coins give information about the language and the scripts, name of kings, titles, date of issue, place of issue, and the emblem of their dynasties. See, so from that coins are giving the information. Which information? About names of kings, titles. Yes or no? Last year we learned that Raja Vikramaditya. Yes or no? Raja Mahadiraj Vikramaditya. Yes. Maybe you know that one. Then date of issue, when it has issued that the coins. About place also you can understand, and about their emblems. Or our Indian coins, it has the emblems there. Yes or no? Do you know emblem our? Yes. If you don't know, so open, take some coins and see that our emblems. Yes or no? Every one coins it has the emblems. So also they can produce their own emblems. From that emblem we can understand who is that kings of that place, or coins, which coin is belong to that the place. There, the definitions of dates of coins furnish information about the personal religious faith of the king, religious policy, religious cults. So from that the coins also we can understand what we can understand, which personal religions are there. Last year one Raja Vikramaditya was there. Last year he has developed, he likes to play veena. Yes or no? He likes to play veena, so he has made the one coin. In that coin he has shown he was playing the veena. So from that we can understand he loves to music. And again one coin he has developed, he was taking one is the bow. Do you know bow? Yeah, it's called bow only, Dhanushyaban. He has taken the bow in his hands and he was killing a tiger. So from that also coins we can understand he loves to the hunting the animals. So from that coins also we can understand that one. Then another one coin was there. He was taking all the weapons in his hands and he was going from somewhere. Means he was showing that he has going to for the war. So he has developed the 3 or 4 coins from himself. So from that we can understand what he likes. Yes. So same thing is here. Coins are often taken to study economic prosperity, trade and financial condition of that periods. So from that the coins we can understand what is their economic conditions, also financial condition, and also how they were doing the trade with the others. Metals used in mining in coins, the indicator of the economic influence of the dynasty. It also shows their technical skills in the metallurgy. So it also shows the technical skills. Still means that time it was a technique, so they can develop their own coins. Yes or no? It is not easy to develop our own coins, and also some of the designs if you have to make that. It is not easy nowadays also. But our forefathers has developed the technical skills and don't know that one. Now let's go to the sculptures and paintings. Okay, it has on the bronze stones. We can get the bronze stone and the wood. Now see, sculptures are another important archaeological sources of the period. Sculptures are made of bronze, stone and wood. The sculptures at the Bidreshwar temple, Tanjore can be regarded as the most mature example of Chola craftsmen. Last year we had learned about the Chola kingdoms. Yes or no? If you forget that one, last year's books, open it and see that one. You will get the information, all the things. A critical analysis of sculptures would help us to know about the growth and development of arts, artists, patrons, history, geography, society, religions, cultures, language and literature. So from that sculptures, what we can understand, what we can get information. We can get the information about the art, artists, patrons, history, geography, society, religion, culture, language and literature. This all the information we can get from the sculptures. Then another one thing is there, paintings. Painting was another art form that was encouraged by the medieval king. So painting, everyone's like yesterday I informed that one. Before reading or writing, we like to do the painting. Everyone likes to do that the paintings before writing, or if you don't know writing already, that doesn't matter. But we can do the painting. We can use our thoughts and we can draw something. Yes or no? Akbar was the great patron of miniature paintings. He encouraged a separate school of painting school, which is now famous as the Mughal school of miniature painting. So Akbar was a great patron of the paintings. He likes to do the paintings. That's why he has developed his own schools of paintings. Yes or no? Mughal school of miniature paintings. The painting exhibits prevents customs, traditions, food habits, religious beliefs, social culture, practice and core skills, life of style of kings and the common people and various other topics. From the paintings, which type of painting they were doing, the people's traditions, their food habits, life of kings, yes or no, how the life of kings and about their common peoples and also the core skills, how the kings are coming in the court, how he was sitting, how the peoples were sitting in front of them. So all the things, the painters were coming there, painters were drawing and he was seeing and he were drawing them. So from that painting also we can understand there the conditions. Yes. Next one, monuments and buildings. You know monuments, Qutub Minar, Red Fort, Taj Mahal. Yes or no? These are the monuments. We can find a large number of monuments and buildings belonging to the medieval period. Its density had its own architectural style. Islamic influence is evident in Qutub Minar, Tomb of Humayun, Red Fort, Taj Mahal, Moti Masjid, etc. Many South Indian rulers encouraged temples buildings. These historical monuments speak about the grandeur, magnificence, artificial skills, cultures, religious belief of that the period. So from that monuments and buildings, what we can understand? We can understand Qutub Minar, Red Fort, Taj Mahal, how these people has made these beautiful pictures, beautiful monuments, beautiful buildings. What material they had used. So still now that buildings are there. Now have you seen some buildings are collapsed? Yes or no? Last 100 years building which has collapsed. But these buildings which were our kings or our forefathers has made, still now the buildings are there. You will not get a little crack of that the buildings. So from that we can understand what type of material they had used. Yes or no? And their architecture skills we can get from that. Not only materials, we can get their skills. What types of they have the skills. So that's still now that building on the theirs and still now it is there. And still up to the 100 years or 200 years they will not get the anything. Yes or no? And from there we can understand the cultures also and also religious beliefs. Yes or no? How the peoples. Now if you go in the south side, you will get the many temples. So it is called the Kerala is known about the god of place. Yes or no? So if you get there, all lot of temples are there, and all temples are, you will see the good varieties of it, the temples. Good sculptures are there, designs are also there. Some messages were all written on that the temples. So all the things you will get from that buildings and monuments. Okay, after there we have to stop archaeological sources we have completed. Now you have to read that the archaeological sources 2 or 3 times You will get all the ideas and you can make your own diagram also, no problems. It is not like that what I made, you have to make like that only. You have make your own diagram also for your understanding. Now tomorrow we will go to the literary sources. Okay, up to there, bye bye.